Hello, Ultimate Hoops Nation. I am Reid Nelson. This is Izzy Alkafas. This is This Week in Rec, Final Four edition. Turtles advance, Lakers advance. You predicted it earlier today. Let's talk about the Lakers advancing over the Rebels first. Talk about Ratty's 22-point first half and then him cooling off in the second half.
Well, they started, Jansen wasn't guarding him to begin the game. I think it was Ferber. Sorry, I got to catch my breath. I was shooting some jumpers. I'm not in shape. But Jansen wasn't guarding him. Second half, they started with Jansen on him, and the guy's incredible. With one, he probably could have played with no arms and just chased around and bodied him. So it made life difficult for Ratty, and got the Rebels back in the game because they were able to put pressure on Noe, and there wasn't Ratty there to, pick up these easy buckets, and got back in the game. And unfortunately, Ferber lost his cool like he usually does, and Ronnie wasn't putting up with it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here briefly. The game was close. I believe it was a 2 or 3 point game when Paul Ferber was ejected. One technical ejection. It wasn't even the double tech ejection. And the momentum just went completely to the Lakers there, and then they ended up running away with the game. What does the game look like with Ferber not being ejected?
Honestly, I think the Rebels probably pull that game out. They were starting to come unraveled in the first half, and they were able to get back in the game, so it didn't completely get out of control. But in the second half, they were in control of that game, and when he got that technical, or when he got ejected, I think they were up 3 or 4, I want to say. Or 1 point. So that put Ratty on the line, and he missed them both, actually. So it was a 1 point game with Lakers ball, and it ended up being a 10-point loss. And they missed a lot of free throws. So he's huge because having him there, DQ isn't going to just have the lane to himself, and Ratty, all these guys driving to the lane don't have to worry about him not being there, or being there anymore. Huge momentum shifter, and I think it was the right. In that situation, I'm always one of those guys where you call the game regardless of what the situation is, and he got warned several times, and he threw that chicken wing after he got warned he got warned after the foul. Then there was some extracurricular activity after that. He got warned again, and then on his way to the bench, he threw a shoulder into him, and he got ejected. You really can't have that many complaints.
Well, you got to give Paul, I guess, a little credit for being completely fearless. Because if there's one guy I'm not going to touch, that's DQ Spencer. That guy is gigantic.
I honestly don't know if Paul Ferber actually thinks when he's playing, because you don't touch DQ. You just let DQ go.
I'm glad that DQ kept his cool. I'm really glad.
I think he's a gentle giant. I hope.
Okay, second game. No Roderick Powell for the Bulls. Roderick Powell was the reason the Bulls were here. Was there ever a chance for the Bulls?
No, not at all. Once Rod was out with that back injury, it really came down to, well, how ugly is the game going to get? Zhao is a tremendous player, but if Rod is out, when Zhao has the ball in his hands and he's dribbling to create his own shot, everybody stands and watches, and it ends up being a low percentage shot. Because in the end of the day, he's still little. So if he goes to the hoop, he has to finish over guys that are about 8-9 inches taller than him, so it makes it tough. And even though he has a quick shot, he's being guarded by guys that have 4 or 5 inches on him. So it's tough. Sonny is a spot-up shooter. He also likes creating his own shot, but they don't have mid-range. He doesn't have a mid-range game, so it's either a really long three or they're driving to the lane and you got big bodies there. So it's tough. They had nobody to really get him going.
Okay, so the Rec Championship between the Lakers and the Turtles will take place here in Bloomington South tonight, Thursday, March 28th at 7 o'clock p.m. The Open and Rec All-Stars, which are scrolling across the screen right now, that game will take place at 8 o'clock. We definitely need you guys to... I'm going to be sending out an email to all of our All-Stars. There's 23 of you, and we'll definitely want to know if you're going to be able to make it, and because we'd love to have a game. If we don't have enough players show up, we obviously won't be able to have a game. That is the All-Star game. Now, I know we're going to have a prediction segment tomorrow, or not a prediction segment, but a prediction article. Right. Any tidbits you want to share about said article?
I think at this point, I think it's almost turtle destiny. Every time they get into the playoffs, something happens that they get they've had the easiest road amongst the top 6 teams for the 3rd straight season. They played Durand Jemima in the first game, which is a joke. Then they played the North Stars, who aren't even close to being competitive with the Turtles. Well, they were, but they shouldn't be. I think the Turtles are just that much better. And then tonight, they play No Rod and the Bulls in the Final Four. It's just, and they played the Bulls last season in the Final Four, and the Bulls aren't a team that's going to make a championship run in rec. I mean, open, you got Paris, you got all those guys, but none of these guys really have that extra. I just don't see them winning a title. So it's just easy matchups for them. I think it's destiny at this point. I'll be hard-pressed to find a way to have the Lakers win, but I'm definitely going to dissect it. I'll think about it quite a bit, and I'll think of ways that the Lakers could win and see if maybe if I put it in my article, they'll actually implement it and they could win, but I would say it's highly unlikely.
All right, thank you, sir. We will see you, Ultimate Hoops Nation, tomorrow night with the results of both the Rec Championship game and the Open versus Rec All-Star game. Rec is looking to go 3-0. Thank you very much.
They will.